see it, man. Copycats can't move until the originator does. If you never heard this before, I'm glad I could run this for you, big boss. So here's the deal, right? Understand this. Copycats are people who basically, as it sounds, they copy and take from other people and act like it's something of their own. Now, here's the deal. Before I even go into this, understand this, right? To play the copycat the copycat game, that's very dangerous because you got to understand something. People who copy, you're not the originator of the work. You're a person who's, if you didn't get permission to do it or whatever, you're considered like a thief. You feel me? I'm not saying people can't get inspired by other people and want to, piggyback off of their work. I'm not talking about that. But what I'm saying is to steal somebody's creative property and act like you're the originator or it's of your own, you're the one that did this, that's a dangerous game to play, bro. Because understand this, let's say you build up a following or your situation changes from you copying somebody, right? If the person you originally were stealing from is not putting out their creative property or putting something out there that you can take, you're going to be left in a stalemate position. So let's go into it, right? Copycats don't have the vision or ability to create on their own, so they steal or emulate from someone or others who are the original. So remember this, to develop a copycat type of a copycat type of ordeal going on, you have to steal and look for other people that you can gain creative property off of. Some people who are copycats, they don't have their own creative property. They aren't very creative as well. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into that, right? People who copy other people, I'm not saying they don't have the ability to create. Some people, they want to minimize their risks. And I'm going to explain that, right? Let's say you're known or you've put out a narrative that you're a person who created something, right? You know deep down in your heart, you stole that shit. Like O'Neal, right? You stole that shit, right? Now, once you've hit a certain peak or a certain level, you're looked at as a person who has an expectation now. If you cannot meet that expectation, you're going to need to pivot around whatever the matter is to get back to that portion or that level as to where you can produce more. Now, mind you, as I told you, right? If you steal from people and that person isn't there to help you or they're not there for you to steal their creative property, it's on you now to use your head. And this is what I mean. Some people cannot think for themselves. That's why some people resort to stealing from others so they can act as if it was their creative property. So people who are copycats, they don't have the blueprint. So they'll copy from someone else that they see results are working for, even if they don't like that individual. So let's go a little bit into that aspect, right? Let's say a person is left in a stalemate position as to where the person they were originally stealing from, they cannot steal from them anymore, right? Let's say they didn't like them or they don't have access to being around them, right? They're going to try and go to other avenues and other aspects to try and continue on. But you got to understand, this is where the game gets dangerous, as I stated. If you're copying and the motives or the angles or the avenues you're taking isn't as calculated to get back to what it was before, people are going to somewhat start to lose a little bit of faith in you. Because why? It's like your numbers or whatever you were doing originally, it's not the same. We're still probably going to have a little bit of faith in you and see where this goes. But at the same time, over time, people are going to be watching you. So if your numbers don't add up or things start to transition or things are getting worse for you and you cannot create that same greatness, you talk a lot of shit or you said, I created this or I did a certain task and you cannot produce it again, you're going to be looked at as questionable. And that's why I said the game gets dangerous. Because if you stole your creative property from somebody and you cannot create again, people are going to look at you as like, you're a liar. To be looked at as a liar and how far you carried out on your lies, that's going to make things even worse for you. That's why I said the game gets dangerous. So going back into that, right? Let's say you're copying off of somebody and creating confusion behind the situation as to where you're the creator or you're the originator. People are going to oftentimes want to side with you, but depending on what it is that you're doing it for or what you're trying to gain, and you're not able to fulfill or obtain what it is that you said you would, people are going to start to question you. And the questioning is going to be based off of whatever lies you fed to those individuals. Like I told you about O'Neal. So if you don't know the story, I was in a music group before. I did not rap. I did the marketing. I did a lot of the strategies, came up with a lot of ideas, concepts, all of that, right? O'Neal was just a rapper. O'Neal created a meme based off of Tekashi 6ix9ine that Tekashi's a snitch, he's not a snitch, the world glorifies the fake, and he's real. On his page, when he posted that meme, it did a little bit of numbers. What I did was I took your work that you created as a teammate. I'm not claiming his work. I took that and I marketed it. Took a couple blogs that I know like that, put it on there, and guess what? O'Neal went from 4K followers to in literally a day and a half, not even in a day. The man hit 10K. Then from there, we kept reposting it on different blogs. That 10K turned to 15, turned to 20, turned to 30, turned to 38K, to the point where labels are now watching us. I got people messaging me talking about, bro, I don't know what y'all did, but I see y'all everywhere all over the timeline, bro. This is a good look for y'all. The whole time, me and O'Neal are on like a difference path. Me and him got a little bit of static at this time. I seen how he switch up and, oh, little bro, and this, that, and the third, thank you. It just went from you cussing me out and trying to size me the week prior to you kissing my ass now. You feel me? So I'm starting to see your little ways. And I know that you're copying all of my shit. Every idea I have, you try to claim it as you're the originator. So because you keep piggybacking off of my shit and stealing it and acting like it's yours, I'm going to cut ties from the team. This is around the time that Young Thug was reposting us. Derez Deshawn started. This is when Derez Deshawn just started like really popping like that. Following us. A lot of different artists from Atlanta. Just different artists around the music scene that got some form of name or face or wave start following us. So I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy how all of this shit work. But you're stealing my creative property and acting like you're the one that's creatively doing all of this shit. So I'm going to step away. From me stepping away, his little 38K went all the way down to 35, down to 30, down to 20. I think last time I checked, he had 18K. So you can't rap no more. All you got to do is try and switch things up to try and act like you're the creative individual. Let me change my rap page into now a blog page. The blog page, I'm losing numbers. Let me see if I can change it to a fitness page. You change so many fucking avenues and angles that you oversaturated your whole algorithm. Now your page is shit. Now you don't have no real retention. You don't have no engagement. Nobody fucking with your shit. You change the avenue all fucking day long. That shows that that person was lacking some form of direction. Because if you lose the source that you were getting all your information from, you're going to go off the deep end to try and see what other avenue or angle you can come up with to regenerate what it is that you had, when you should have never left the original blueprint. You feel me? Now, let's go a little bit deeper into that, right? I'm going to give you an example into copycatting, right? Look at Instagram and look at Snapchat. For some people who do not know, Snapchat was the originator of stories. You feel me? Instagram was bigger than Snapchat. So, because I'm bigger than you, I'm going to go ahead and use y'all feature, and guess what? It's mine. Mind you, look at how they had the Vines and all of this stuff. Vine is no longer. You feel me? That's where Instagram got the opportunity to really run and take flight like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say, no, Snapchat isn't big. Snapchat still makes money. But you got to understand something. Once a person is bigger than you, they can look down on somebody who's smaller, who may not have as much success, light numbers, or wave, and steal from that person. Did you catch what I just did for you? There's some people who sat back, and because I'm in a bigger position or I have more power, more leverage, I'm going to steal from you. What does that sound like? Some of these artists that's in the industry that's already big, you ran out of your creativity. Yo, let me go and scout for creativity so I could steal your shit. If you don't know about that, I'm going to put you on game, bro. There's people who do that shit. There's a lot of people that are that up there in the industry that have that much of a name, you know what? I can't write anymore. I don't have any more creativity. So they seek out other artists that they can steal their work from and act like it's their own. Who does it sound like? Drake. Drake's done that with numerous artists. He did that with XXXTentacion. I heard he just did that with 1900 Rugrat. There are artists, and it's not even on an artist scale. Think about what I just said. There are some people who are in a bigger situation than you, have more power than you and more leverage. So because you don't have what I have, you have the creative property, I'm gonna steal it from you. You don't have the muscle or the power that I have, like a O'Neal. So if I steal a take from you, guess what? That's how the dynamics is gonna be until I can get to where it is that I need to go. That's the game that some people run. So as well as that, right, into why copycats bank on confusion, because they're looking to capitalize on this, to see who did it first. Sometimes it's not about who did it better in their eyes. It's about who did it first. Oh, I'm the one who originally did this. Oh, I'm the one who started this first. That's how some people can try and cook up and formulate lies to make you seem like you're a person that's not credible or worthy of receiving credit. You feel me? So that's how far that shit goes. Back in the copycatting. Give you another example. Look at eBay and Amazon. eBay was already out here for years on end until Amazon came along. Amazon found a way how to, let's see how we could take what you do and make it better. There's nothing wrong with looking at somebody's blueprint and trying to make it better, but I'm using that in a different aspect. There are some people who stole or created millions or made millions off of stealing off of somebody's creative property and not crediting that person, not giving them flowers or whatever the case may be, because they're looking to look as the originator. I'm the first, I'm the best to do it. So you need to follow me, not follow the other guy. And that's where some people look to make their confusion a little bit more stronger, because if I'm confusing people on this level, and mind you, some people move off of you got money or you got the power, you got the status or you got the numbers, so we're gonna what? Listen to you. That's how some people can get confused. That's why it's good to have some form of discernment so you can see through the smoke and mirrors. You get what I'm saying? Now lastly, appearance over integrity. Hoping to be seen first, not having the integrity to admit that they stole what they presented. Now, that's how we're going to finish this off. So understand this, right? To steal somebody's creative property or act like you're the creator, mind you what I told you, these people cannot create on their own. They wait on the originators. So now that I feel like I probably have your blueprint or I have the recipe and I have the sauce, I can go ahead, screw you over or cut you out the deal and move forward. Because why? I believe I have the recipe. I'm going to be seen as first. I'm going to be the one to capitalize on this idea. I'm going to be the one to move forward. I'm going to teach you something. If you don't watch me, if you never heard me say this, I stated this in numerous of my videos. Creativity rules, bro. Creativity is what generates millions, billions, trillions. How did Amazon start off? Amazon started off as an idea, as a thought in somebody's garage. Same thing with Apple. This was a creative property. All of these things that you see in the world started from some form of creativity. McDonald's, it doesn't matter. You got to understand that if you have creativity, listen to what I'm telling you. If you have creativity, you have gold, you have diamond. With creativity, you can go out there and you can create more, you can do more. If someone steals one form of creative property from you, you can go out there and create it again, because why? You're the creator. You don't need to steal from somebody. You're not a copycat. You don't need to go outside of yourself. The source is coming from within you. So if you have the ability to do that and generate more, you don't have to rely on other people. You can be a one-man army. You can rely on yourself. This is what makes today even more powerful, the world that we live in. Look at AI, look at artificial intelligence, right? Through AI, you have the ability of creating and doing way more for yourself, as to where you probably don't need a team. Computers handle that for you. That's the beauty of AI. Now, some people use AI in a creative aspect because sometimes they may not be able to create on their own, or they may need like another source that they can rely on, that they can, piggyback and bounce off information off of, so they can make their ideas really come to life. But what I'm saying to you is understand this. These are all rules of creators and people who copycat, people who are creative, or people who have some form of a creative property. because you have it and I don't, I'm seeking to try and steal that from you. That makes sense. With that being said, remember this, words can help you, they can hurt you, but here on my channel I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion, nobody's a loser, man. 444 the world. Just remember this in life, don't play the copycat game. If you admire somebody, tell them that. If you need assistance, ask for it. But to go out here and steal somebody's creative property and act like it's of your own, that's where you can screw yourself. You can cheddar bob yourself. You can fry your name. You can fry your face. Because if people find out that this whole time, that this whole lie you created, it was based on stealing other people's stuff and you cannot do it on your own. You cannot get in the kitchen, put on the chef hat, the apron, whip up the recipe. Guess what? You're going to be looked at as a fraud. That's like being like a charlatan. Same thing. That's nasty work, bro. If you created a whole narrative based off of lies and you were stealing creativity the whole time, guess what? People ain't gonna really trust you after that no more. People ain't even gonna have nothing to do with you. People are not gonna have any dealings with you. So you just gotta be careful of the games that is that you play in life and make sure that you're moving 100, moving with good intentions and doing things on your own. Learn that you can create on your own. You just got to give yourself some time and expand on what you want to do. But trying to steal from other people, that's not the wave, my guy. 444 the world, man. Peace.